If you're a breastfeeding mom, you probably know that your protein needs are a little bit higher while you're breastfeeding. But if you're like me, it can be really hard to get all that protein in a 24-hour period. I always have people asking me for the best protein powders for breastfeeding moms. In this video, I'm going to be doing a head-to-head blind taste test of 5 different protein powders. Some of these are specifically geared towards postpartum women, while some of them are just brands that I have used myself and I really enjoy and have topped my list in the past. But before we dive in, be sure to go down to the description for this video and sign up for some free breastfeeding-friendly breakfast ideas. These are going to be some yummy things that you can make starting tomorrow to make sure that you are fueled so you can fuel your baby. Protein is important for everybody, but especially during pregnancy and breastfeeding. And while there are many different ways to get protein in, I find that at least one protein shake a day can make it a little bit easier to hit those goals. Protein powder, though, can be all over the board. I feel like there's so many different brands out there and everybody seems to be promoting one over the other. I have brands that I love and that I have shared in the past, and I have a blog post where I have shared some of the best protein powders out there. So I thought that I would do a head-to-head taste test of 5 different brands. The reasons I chose these brands: some of them are ones that I have personally enjoyed, that I think the ingredients are high quality and that most people are able to find. There's a couple other brands that I've included that are specifically targeted toward post and breastfeeding women, and that's why I included them in this taste test. All of these brands do have high quality ingredients, at least in my opinion, and they don't have anything like sucralose, which I tend to avoid. What I'm going to be judging these on are the taste, the texture, the aftertaste, and the appearance. I decided to go with vanilla because I feel like that is just like the most plain and simple one that you can go with. Most brands have it in vanilla, and I also feel like vanilla is a little bit hard to get right. Most of these brands have other flavors, so even if I don't like the vanilla, they may have another flavor that is better quality or that tastes better. Again, it comes down to my preference and what I'm looking for in a protein shake. You might watch this and think, you didn't like that about a protein, but that's actually what I like. So just take everything I say with a grain of salt. I think all of these are good companies for the most part. First, I want to share the specific brands. Some of these I bought myself, some of them I asked them to send me samples of, but I feel like I'm trying really hard to make this unbiased. First off is a company called Booby Body. They are specifically designed for breastfeeding, postpartum, and pregnancy. They have tons of different products, including protein powders. This is their vanilla cookie. They also sent me a vanilla chai, but I've decided that I would do the vanilla cookie. I don't know if that was a good choice or not, but they have several different flavors and a lot of different products that are designed specifically for breastfeeding. This one has 120 calories, 2 grams of fat, 19 grams of protein, 7 carbs, and 6 total sugars. It's also vegan, so if you need vegan, this is great for that. It includes a protein and fiber blend, their herbal complex, which has moringa, maca roots, shatavari, organic cinnamon, and organic turmeric, and a probiotic blend. So this is really specifically designed for breastfeeding and pregnancy, which I think is cool. There's not a lot of those out there. There was another brand, but they are no longer in business. This is really the only one I found that was specifically for breastfeeding, postpartum. There's another one of them was for pregnancy and postpartum, but this one is really for breastfeeding moms. Next is Clean Simple Eats. I've worked with this company a lot over the past, 5 years. They're a great company. The owners are awesome. They have a lot of great recipes. They have tons of protein powders, nut butters, flavored waters, just everything you can think of. This is not specifically for breastfeeding, but this is their vanilla flavor. They have a lot of other flavors. My favorite, I think, is like their caramel. There's a caramel one that is really delicious. I use that in oatmeal all the time. It has 110 calories, 0 grams of fat, 20 grams of protein, has a digestive enzyme blend, and let's see what else. 9 carbs. And then we have Drink Wholesome. This one, they designed it for people that have issues with other protein powders, which I do. As much as I like protein powders, I can't drink them as much as I have in the past because they do tend to make my stomach hurt and I tend to get more bloated. This one, though, I feel my body responds to a little bit better. All it has is egg whites, coconut, vanilla, monk fruit, and then nothing else. So that's awesome. This one has 2.5 grams of fat, 80 calories, 2 grams of carbs, 1 sugar, and 15 grams of protein. Next is Just Ingredients. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I love Just Ingredients. I am a huge fan of all of their products. I love what they stand for. I love how passionate the owner is about making sure we all have accessible knowledge and access to good quality food products. I love their protein powders, lots of different flavors. They are always in my cupboard because I am just always a huge fan. This is one of their to-go packages. It's just plain vanilla bean. There's true vanilla in this. It's not artificial. They have a lot of other products. I know this sounds like an ad for Just Ingredients, but I truly love them and they are awesome. So I'm excited to see where this ranks. They have 140 calories per serving, 6 grams of fat, 5 carbs, 2 grams of sugar, and 22 grams of protein. I think this brand has the most protein of all of the ones that I'm testing today. And then finally, there's Ritual. I've never tried it before, so we'll see. I just ordered this one because it's specifically for postpartum. It has 120 calories, 3 grams of fat, 20 grams of protein, and yeah, it has choline, which is interesting. So that's great for breastfeeding and postpartum. This one is also vegan as well. All right, so my husband mixed these up in the other room, so I have no idea what flavors they are or what companies they're from. Just a blind taste test, and I'm gonna tell you my honest feelings. I have my notebook here where I'm gonna write down my rating on the flavor, texture, aftertaste, and appearance. And we did use 2% milk to keep it standard across the board. I will say at least one of these is vegan, and they recommend using a vegan milk, but we decided just to use milk for all of them. So this first one, it's pretty foamy. You can see some specks, I think, of like vanilla. It smells pretty good, but it does look very foamy. So we'll go ahead and taste this one first. That's pretty good. It's very smooth. Definitely tastes vanilla-y. I feel like maybe it tasted a little bit off, but I don't know. It tastes good for the most part. Let me try it again. I feel like it could be creamier. Flavor, it's not super strong. I'll put a 3. Texture is pretty good. I'll give that a 4. Aftertaste, I am having some aftertaste, which might be from some of the sweeteners that they use. I think most of them use stevia or monk fruit. The appearance just very foamy. I feel like it's not as smooth as I would like my protein powders to be. I don't like when there's a lot of air in it. So I will give that a 2. So this next one also has lots of bubbles. It looks like about half a cup is bubbles. So we're gonna try this one now. This one tastes pretty artificial. I will say that. I don't feel like the vanilla taste is great. So I'm gonna give that one a 2. The texture is pretty good. I felt like it was creamier than the first one. Immediately though, the taste was pretty strong. I'm not tasting as much of an aftertaste though, which is good. And appearance, I'll just give that a 2 as well. So this next one is browner. It's definitely does not have nearly as many bubbles as the other ones. This one's kind of looks like a yellowy brown, like golden milk, if you've ever had that. Kind of reminds me of that. So let's go ahead and taste that. I really like the texture of this one. It feels thicker, which is what I want, where it's like thick and smooth like a smoothie. I really like this flavor. I wouldn't say it's a ton of vanilla-y, and it probably has some different ingredients in it, but I love this flavor. This one is really good. I think the texture is awesome. I'm not tasting much of an aftertaste, and I think the appearance is really appealing to me. I like the color. I like that it looks very smooth and there's not a lot of bubbles. So that one, I think, is the winner so far. I'm gonna take another sip of that because that was really good. So we're gonna try this one, and my husband just informed me that the texture before had a lot of bubbles, but then he remixed it and that got rid of the bubbles. So this one looks very smooth, but I guess that was coming from having a little bit more mixing going on. So it looks good. It looks like it's going to be pretty tasty. It has like specks in it of probably the different flavorings or vanilla, whatever's in this. And it looks pretty good. So let's see. That is like a true vanilla flavor. I really like this one a lot. This one tastes like I'm actually drinking vanilla. Not straight from the bottle, but it feels like what I think vanilla should taste like. The texture is pretty good. I'll give it a 4. It's smooth. I don't feel like the flavor is like super overpowering, which is nice because I feel like sometimes with vanilla protein powder, it can be really overpowering. But I do like the texture. I don't have any aftertaste, so that's great. Texture 4, flavor 5, appearance 5. And then finally, this is number 5. It is yellowy looking. It's nice and smooth. There's some little bubbles, but not any big bubbles. I do not like the texture of this one. The flavor is interesting. It tastes a little bit eggy. I don't know. Texture, I don't know. I'm not getting a lot of vanilla. I am getting a lot more egg. The texture was very foamy, even though it looks smooth. I feel like the texture is weird. The flavor's decent. I will give a 3 on that one. Texture, I'm not a fan. Aftertaste, I'll give that a 4. And appearance, I'll give that a 5. I think I have some suspicions, but it's interesting trying because I have tried all of these brands at different times and I've always liked them at those times, but having them head to head, out of all of these, I would say I enjoy this one the most, number 3 the most, the one that was like a little brownish, yellowy. I wouldn't say it tastes really a ton like vanilla, but I think it's delicious and I love the flavor and the texture. The most vanilla-y, the one that has the least artificially tasting, I would say is number 4. So if you're looking for a true vanilla, this one is awesome. I have no idea what these are. This one I would say is a close runner-up. Definitely number 1 for vanilla, but close runner-up for everything else. I feel like it definitely wins in not tasting artificially and for truly tasting like vanilla. So let me get another sip of this one. That one is really good. Okay, so Forrest, do you want to reveal it for me? What's my favorite one? What was that?
Is made from booby body.
Interesting. I think that one, it was vanilla cookie, so it was a slightly different than pure vanilla, but this is a good protein shake. I really like this one. Now number 2, which had the great vanilla flavor and had a good texture overall. What's this one? Number 4.
Just ingredients.
Okay, I'm not surprised. When I tasted that, I was like, I know that they have put so much work into making sure that this is actually vanilla and there's no artificial natural flavors or whatever. So great job, Just Ingredients. But this one was good. Good texture, and they have lots of flavors, which is what I like about Just Ingredients. If you've seen my blog post on protein powder, they have always been my number 1. This is a good one. They have some of the best ingredients. I haven't checked all protein powders out there, but they have, I think, the best ingredients for their protein shakes.
That is
wholesome. Okay.
Drink wholesome.
So I do like this one. I think it has monk fruit, and I think that's the aftertaste that I'm getting because I am not a huge fan of monk fruit. But I think that the vanilla flavor is good. I wish, I don't know, maybe if we mix it a little bit different or in a different way, the texture I might like a little bit more. But the flavor, I feel like it's good flavor. It's not super overpowering. I keep saying like. It's good. I wouldn't say this is my top one, but I wouldn't say it's terrible. I think that they have very simple ingredients, and with wholesome, I believe like they've tried to really minimize the ingredients to make it something that doesn't hurt people's stomachs. And when I've tried it in the past, I have felt like my body responds better to it. So Clean Simple Eats, which is disappointing because I love Clean Simple Eats and I use them all the time. So clearly I use their product, but when I compare it to everything else, this one's flavor is really intense and I don't love it. I will say I've never really loved their vanilla protein powder anyways. I think they have better flavors that are a little bit better tasting, but the texture, this one just wasn't a win. What's this one? Ritual. Interesting. I was thinking that this was going to be the wholesome one because theirs is made with egg whites. So this is Ritual. It definitely tastes eggy. I don't feel like it's... Oh, the texture. That's what I don't like. The texture is really weird. I can't even hardly swallow that. It's hard to even tell what the flavor is because of the texture, but okay. I totally thought this was wholesome because wholesome is made with egg white. And this one is not made with egg white, which is weird that it tastes like eggs. But the texture, I could not, after the second time I tried to drink it, I could not drink it. I did not like the texture at all. I did not like the flavor. Texture is so important for me. I like it to feel cream and smoothie. I didn't really like the ones as much with the bubbles, but go get yourself some Booby Body or Just Ingredients if you want the best protein powder because these are both really good. At the end of the day, protein powder is a total personal decision. I've tried protein powders that people have said that they hated and I love them, and then vice versa where they're like, this is the best protein powder ever, and I could care less for it. So much of it comes down to your personal preferences, what you're looking for in protein powder, and honestly what you're planning to do with it. Some of those protein powders I think are great when mixed with other things, but some of those I would just totally drink on my own. So take everything I said with a grain of salt. I've put the links to everything below. I have some different coupon codes. Before I go though, I want to let you know about my 28-day breastfeeding meal plan. It is a great resource for all breastfeeding and postpartum moms. It has tons of recipes, meal plans, grocery plans, workout plans, smoothie recipes, everything you can imagine for just $27. So you can get that at the link below. I have been selling this for years and people always really love it. If you have any questions though, drop them below. Otherwise, hit the subscribe button and I will see you next time.